So for question 9, a function is given by gx equals to 1 over surt x minus 1. So notice that this function is in rational function and also surt function. So it has two characteristics, which is rational characteristic and surt characteristic. So for the first part, find the G inverse. So like usual, G inverse equals to y. So we'll let G inverse equals to y, then inverse it become gy equals to x. So we'll substitute our y inside here. It becomes 1 over square root y minus 1. So how to find this y? When you get this y means you get our G inverse. So I will inverse this fraction. So when I inverse this fraction, this will become 1 over x. We'll inverse this fraction, or I can cross multiply. I bring the x down here and square root go there, so I rewrite square root at the left hand side, square root y minus 1 at the left hand side, the 1 over x at right hand side. Then I solve this square root. When I move to right hand side, it will become square. Then it will become 1 over x squared, because 1 square is remain 1, but x squared will become x squared. Then move the 1 become plus 1. So that will be our G inverse. So where this x cannot be 0, we have to state out its rational characteristic. Then for the second part, we're going to find state its domains and range. So we have to see the function here. What is the domain of the graph? So domain of this gx, it is given here where they only take x greater or equals to 1, greater than 1, so it will be 1 to infinity. So how about the range here? So for range for this gx, we can see when we close this rational part, so it will only get 0 to infinity, one side only, because originally this function, this rational function is supposedly got two sides. But start from the beginning of the question, the domain said x only greater than 1, means they only take this side. So the left hand side part doesn't have any more. So when we're doing our rational function, when we close the rational, we say y cannot be 0, that will be our asymptote. But the part of the left hand side here also don't have graph of the beginning of the condition, because of the condition. So that's why our range of the function only start from 0 to infinity. So therefore, and when you want to start the domain of the G inverse, we will refer to the range of the function, which is equals to 0 to infinity. When you want to find our range of the G inverse, we will refer it to the domain. The domain here will be 1 to infinity. So here will be our inverse concept, and finding out our y. Finally, to get our answer, state out its domain and range by referring to our domain and range from the gx.